Hey, what's good, everyone? Thanks for swinging by. We've got a wild new tale to unpack today, so let's dive in. I'm Samuel, and let me tell you, my wife, Gloria, never planned on me finding out the kid I raised for years wasn't even mine biologically. I stumbled on that gut punch truth one random day, in the most out of left field way possible. She didn't give me the courtesy of a heads up from the jump, and that kind of betrayal. It doesn't just shatter your heart, it flips your whole perspective on trust, loyalty, and what it means to be picked for real. Gloria meant to keep me in the dark forever, but fate had other plans. Before I spill how I found out, let's rewind to where this whole mess kicked off. I'd known Gloria, the mom of the kid in question, for ages before anything spicy ever went down. We were just buddies, the kind where you can spill your guts about anything and not worry about getting side-eyed. She was whip smart, a breeze to chat with, and we had this easy vibe that didn't need a manual. Romance? Not even on my radar. She never dropped a hint she was into me either. We both had our own lives, and I kept it chill, respecting the friend zone. Then one night, out of nowhere, my phone lit up with her name. The second I heard her voice, I knew something was off. Like, you could hear the weight in her words. She asked if I was home. I said yeah, and she hit me with, "I'm a mess, Sam. Can I swing by to talk, or is that a hard pass?" Her tone had this edge, like she was daring me to say no. "Nah, come through," I told her. About half an hour later, she rolled up looking like life had chewed her up and spit her out. I didn't pry, I just let her vent. She unloaded about her soul-sucking job, her life going nowhere fast, and how she was bone-tired from just trying to keep her head above water. I sat there thinking, girl's been hauling a whole lot of baggage. We talked for hours, losing track of time, until she glanced at her phone and went, "Well, crap, it's past 11 already." I offered to get her a ride home, but she hesitated, and that pause spoke volumes. I told her to crash at my place, too late and sketchy to be out. "I'll take the couch, you take the bed," I said, trying to keep it gentlemanly. But she locked eyes with me, all intense, and snapped, "Oh, please, we can both crash in the bed. Don't make it weird." I'll be real, her saying that made me freeze. Up till then, we'd been strictly platonic, but the way she said it, all soft but cocky, hit different. I didn't push or overthink it. I just nodded and said, "Cool, whatever." We headed to the bedroom, and something shifted that night. It started with us just lying there, side by side, but then came these tentative touches, like we were both testing the waters. The space between us vanished, and before I knew it, we were kissing. Deep, intense, like it was more than just a hookup. I didn't overanalyze it. I was caught up in the moment. But here's the kicker nobody warns you about. One fleeting night can spark a chain reaction of consequences. That moment didn't just fade. It snowballed into something way bigger than I ever saw coming, pulling me into a life-altering mess I was clueless about. Fast forward 2 months after that steamy, unexpected night. I was beat from work, slapping together a sandwich in my kitchen, when Gloria's name popped up on my phone. I picked up, expecting our usual banter, but her voice was off, clipped, no nonsense. She didn't beat around the bush. "I'm pregnant, Sam." My brain flatlined. I couldn't even form words at first. A million thoughts slammed into me at once. I opened my mouth to say something, but she cut me off with a sharp, "I'm keeping it, so don't even try to talk me out of it." Weirdly, I wasn't mad. I took a beat and thought, all right, I've always wanted kids. We're not tied down, either of us. That night was a choice, maybe a dumb one, but it happened. If she's set on this, I'm not gonna bail. I told her I was on board, and from there, shit got real fast. The pregnancy yanked us together in ways we never expected. We started hanging out more, fumbling through baby prep like clueless rookies. That shared chaos bonded us, and somewhere along the way, we locked eyes and decided, screw it, let's make this legit. We started dating for real, both of us caring enough to build something solid for the kid on the way. The day our son came into the world, something in me clicked. That first wail from the little guy hit me right in the chest, like my whole universe stretched wide and squeezed tight all at once. When Gloria got home from the hospital, I looked at her and said, "Chill, you don't need to hustle back to work. I've got the bills, the rent, the groceries, everything." I wasn't trying to play hero. I just wanted her to focus on our kid. It felt like my duty, you know? I had a family now, maybe not on the timeline I'd imagined, but I loved that boy. He became my reason to drag myself out of bed at dawn, giving me a purpose I didn't even know I was missing. I started grinding harder at work, making sure we had food, diapers, and the lights stayed on. Some nights I'd stumble home wiped out, but one gummy smile from him made it all worth it. I was proud of the life we were piecing together. By the time our son hit his first birthday, I looked around and thought, this is it, man. This is my crew. It wasn't the plan, but we'd built something solid from a curveball start. So I started thinking, why not lock this down for good? I had zero doubts when I decided to pop the question to Gloria. I spent weeks hunting for the perfect ring. Nothing too flashy, but just right. No over-the-top proposal nonsense. I just dropped to one knee and told her, I want to do this forever, you and me, raising our boy as a real team, husband and wife. She gave me a quick, yeah, duh, like she was doing me a favor by saying yes, and for a hot minute, it felt like everything was clicking into place. We set a wedding date, and the planning kicked off fast. Gloria seemed stoked, or at least she put on a good show, and I was just happy we were on the same wavelength. It felt like a new chapter, something steady, something real. As the big day got closer, Gloria's sister rolled into town to help with the wedding prep. She claimed she was there to support her sis and soak up the family vibes during this oh-so-special time. I didn't bat an eye. Family pitching in for weddings is normal, right? She'd watch the kid when Gloria was swamped with planning, and I'd come home to them hanging out, looking all cozy. It felt like a happy, normal stretch for us, but then one evening, after my usual walk to clear my head, I decided to slip in through the back door instead of the front. No real reason, just a random choice. And holy hell, that tiny decision flipped my life upside down. Gloria and her sister didn't hear me come in, and they were in the kitchen, yapping away. I wasn't trying to creep, but as I got closer, Gloria's voice stopped me cold. She was all, Sam's been a decent guy, sure, but I'm not going to act like I owe him my soul. He signed up for this. I didn't twist his arm. I just said I was pregnant, not that he was the daddy. I froze, my heart pounding so loud I thought they'd hear it. Before I could process, her sister chimed in, Wait, does he even know he's not the dad? And Gloria, the woman I'd built my whole world around, just scoffed and said, Nope, and he's never gonna. What's the point now? Stir up drama for nothing? I swear my knees nearly buckled. It was like the ground vanished under me. I turned around, slipped out the way I came, and didn't say a word. 'Cause honestly, I didn't trust what would have come out if I'd stormed in there. That night, I sat in my car for hours, just stewing, questioning everything. Sleep? Not a chance. I crept back home late and played it cool the next morning. Instead of going to work, I hopped online and ordered a DNA test kit. I needed hard proof, even though her words were burned into my brain. Part of me was still clinging to some wild hope there was a mix-up. When the kit arrived, I waited until the kid was out cold, then carefully swabbed his cheek, making sure not to wake him. I sealed it up, shipped it off, and then came the wait. Those few days, pure torture. Deep down, I knew the truth, but I was begging the universe to prove me wrong. Spoiler, it didn't. The results came back, and boom, I wasn't the biological father. It's weird how silence can scream louder than anything else. I didn't cry, I just sat there, staring into space, because a lie that deep doesn't just break your heart, it shatters your grip on reality. I was done pretending. I sat in the living room, staring at the DNA results on my phone, knowing I couldn't keep building a life on quicksand. No matter how much I'd poured into this, my heart, my soul, my everything, it was all based on a scam. So, I waited for the right moment. The next morning, Gloria was in the kitchen, humming some annoying tune like everything was peachy, while our boy played with his toys in the corner, oblivious to the bomb about to drop. I sucked in a deep breath, marched over to Gloria in the kitchen, and shoved the envelope with the DNA results in her face. "Open it," I said, my voice flat but firm. She squinted at me, all confused, and snapped, "What's your deal, Sam? What's this about?" I didn't budge, just repeated, "Open the thing." She rolled her eyes, tore open the seal like it was a chore, and pulled out the paper. The second her eyes scanned the results, she froze like a deer in headlights. Her face went through a whole transformation, shock, guilt, you name it. Within seconds, tears were streaming down her cheeks, and she was sobbing like a soap opera queen. I didn't flinch, just hit her with one question. "If I hadn't overheard you spilling your guts to your sister, were you ever going to come clean?" She couldn't even meet my gaze. She crumpled onto a kitchen stool, burying her face in her hands, blubbering. "You were there when I was drowning, Sam. You said you were cool with it, that you wanted kids. I figured, what's the point of stirring the pot now? Yeah, I'd said I was okay with it, because I thought I was the kid's dad. I stepped up based on trust, not knowing she'd been feeding me a lie for almost 2 years. She twisted my willingness to be a stand-up guy into an excuse to keep her mouth shut. No matter how much she bawled or tried to spin it, nothing changed the fact that she'd stolen my right to the truth from day one. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "We're done. The wedding's off. Pack your crap, take your kid, and get out." She opened her mouth, probably to throw out another half-assed apology or excuse. But I wasn't having it. I turned and walked out the front door, desperate for air, because everything I thought I had was crumbling. For the next few days, Gloria stuck around the house, acting like I'd just get over it if she gave me puppy eyes long enough. Nope. I told her straight up, if she didn't bounce, I'd drag this to court and make it happen. She knew I wasn't playing around. Finally, she packed up her stuff and hightailed it to her sister's place, taking the kid with her. Just like that, the happy little family I thought we had went poof. But wait, it gets better. Or worse. Barely a week after she moved out, I got slapped with legal papers. Gloria, that gem, was suing me for child support. I stared at the envelope, thinking, is this chick for real? I'd just been gutted by the biggest lie of my life, and now she had the nerve to demand I pay for a kid that wasn't even mine. The sheer audacity hit me harder than the DNA results. I was already a wreck, trying to piece together who I even was after raising another man's kid under false pretenses. And now she was piling on more. When I walked into that courtroom, I had this naive hope the truth would set me free. I laid it all out for the judge. I'd been played. Gloria never once hinted the kid wasn't mine, so I had no reason to doubt it. I only found out because I overheard a conversation I wasn't meant to hear. I explained how she let me assume I was the father based on the timing, letting that lie fester for years. But when the gavel dropped, the court didn't care. They said since I'd signed the birth certificate, I was legally the dad. Signature equaled responsibility. No takebacks. The judge droned on about how the child's stability was the priority, that he was almost 2, and yanking away the only father he'd known could mess him up emotionally. I was floored. They were all about protecting the kid, but nobody gave about protecting me from being betrayed like that. I left the courtroom fuming, but I wasn't about to roll over. My lawyer and I got to work, filing a motion to disestablish paternity. This time, I came loaded with ammo, the official DNA results proving I wasn't the biological father, the context of that overheard kitchen chat, even if it wasn't recorded, and the big one, fraudulent misrepresentation. Gloria knew well I thought the kid was mine and chose to let me live that lie. Thank God the system actually worked this time. The court accepted my petition, acknowledged the DNA evidence, and recognized the deception. I was officially off the hook as the legal father. No more child support, no more responsibilities tied to a kid I'd been tricked into raising. That moment was a weird mix of relief and heartbreak. I was free from the legal chains of a lie I never signed up for. Free from the constant reminder that love, no matter how real, can be twisted into a weapon by someone you trusted. But after it all fell apart, I wasn't just drained, I was pissed. To be real, I was itching for justice. This wasn't just about a relationship going south. I lost years, cash, trust, and memories that were all built on a house of cards. But here's the kicker. My local laws don't give about paternity fraud. In plain English, I couldn't sue Gloria for conning me into thinking the kid was mine. It didn't matter that I poured my heart into raising him, believing I was his dad. The court didn't care. I asked my lawyer if there was any shot at getting back some of the money I'd shelled out. But he leveled with me. Family courts aren't wired to handle emotional gut punches like civil courts do for stuff like broken contracts or fender benders. They don't hand out checks for getting played or lied to about a role that flipped your whole life upside down. The law just saw me as some guy who willingly signed up for fatherhood, blind to the fact that Gloria kept the truth locked away. So I walked away with Nada, and honestly, that stung worse than the betrayal itself. It hit me hard that not every wound gets patched up in a courtroom. Some you just carry, like it or not. As for Gloria and the kid, I cut them off completely. No calls, no texts, no nothing. I don't know where they're at, how they're holding up, or what their life looks like now, and I'm not losing sleep over it. Whatever love or care I had for them got buried the second I saw those DNA results and heard Gloria's smug confession spill out. A love built on lies is like a sandcastle. Looks pretty until the tide rolls in and wipes it out. I've made peace with the fact that some betrayals don't leave scars you can point to. If you take one thing from my mess, let it be this. Ask questions, even when everything seems picture perfect. Lies don't always wave red flags. Sometimes they come with the smile of someone you'd bet your life on. Now that I've laid it all bare, let me drop some hard-earned lessons I picked up along the way. If my story keeps even one person from getting burned like I did, it's worth shouting from the rooftops. First, don't leap into fatherhood just because you feel like you're supposed to. I jumped in head first without asking the tough questions, without double-checking the facts, and definitely without covering my own back. I thought love and hustle would be enough, but good intentions can get twisted by someone looking to take advantage. That doesn't make you soft. It just means you gotta be sharper next time. Second, and I can't yell this loud enough, DNA doesn't lie, but people sure as hell do. I didn't want to believe Gloria was playing me. I didn't want to think the kid wasn't mine. But that night in the kitchen, when I overheard her, my gut screamed the truth before the test results ever landed. Trust your instincts. They're not just noise. Sometimes they're your shield. And third, watch out for emotional manipulation dressed up as love. Be smart. Love should make you feel safe, valued, and respected. Gloria put on the waterworks, threw out apologies, and whined, "You said you were cool with it, Sam." But what she never did was give me the truth when I deserved it. She made choices for both of us without looping me in. That's not love. That's control wrapped in crocodile tears. When someone hides the truth but lets you build your life on their lie, that's not a relationship. It's a con job. So, I'm turning it over to you, wherever you're watching this. What do you make of this mess? If you were in my shoes, how would you have handled it? I'm just asking for real talk. Maybe someone out there's been through this. Or maybe someone's in the middle of it right now and doesn't even see it yet. Thanks for sticking with me. If this story hit you, or you know someone who needs to hear it, give it a like, share it around, and let's keep the convo real about stuff that actually matters. Take care of yourselves and never stop demanding the truth.